2 significant strikes absorbed in 5 UFC fights. That is the stat line, the stunning stat line of Jailton Almeida, the 32-year-old, 19-2 Brazilian prospect that is looking to continue his perfect run in the UFC. He is 5-0, looking to extend to 6-0 this weekend, but is against Derrick the Black Beast Lewis, the all-time leader in knockouts in the UFC's history with 14. If he has anything to say about it, he's not going to make it easy for the young, shiny Brazilian in Jailton Almeida. Let's get into some of this X and O's, the storylines. How did this fight come about? Because this isn't the original fight scheduled for this main event. Now, I say young, rising prospect in Jailton Almeida, but as I said at the top, he is 32 years old. So the time is now. Luckily for him, he has competed at light heavyweight and now obviously has kind of committed to heavyweight over the past few fights. And he's looking to climb these ranks, and it is easier to do as you get older in these heavier weight classes. So I would still say he falls into that category for now. At just 5-0 in the UFC, he's so young into the game, but he has a lot of experience, 21 fights. But Derrick Lewis has more than that amount of fights just in the UFC alone. I mean, look at the record right here on screen. 27 wins, 11 losses in a no contest. I never know if I want to put those on the stat line or not, but I did. Derrick Lewis has been there. He's done that. He's fought them all. He's seen them all. He's beaten damn near all of them as well. But he is coming into this one losing 3 of his last 5. But look at the competition differences when you compare these 5 fights. For Jailton, his first 5 fights in the UFC have been nothing short of spectacular. He has made easy work of all 5 opponents, but those latter 2 are where that competition begins to increase. Shamil Abdurakhimov finished there, and then in his first UFC main event, he finished Jairzinho Rozenstruik. So he has shown now that he can take out prominent names, but now it's the next step up here in Derrick Lewis, a guy that's main evented so many cards. He's fought against so many high-level contenders and prospects. I mean, you name it, he's done it. Just look at this list alone here. When you look at the mixture of prospects and veterans, Chris Daukaus was that guy that was surging at the time and had a lot of hype. It was him, it was Tom Aspinall, and it was Almeida, but Almeida was a little bit later than them, so he came in just a tad bit after Daukaus and Aspinall kind of began their competition, if you will. But Derrick Lewis stops in, goes on a 3-fight skid, but it's Tai Tuivasa, it's Sergey Pavlovich, it's Sergey Spivak. Having to fight back-to-back the Sergeys is a tough world to live in, but Derrick Lewis will fight anyone. And then he had the crazy knockout against Marcos Rogerio de Lima earlier this year, came out of the gates with a flying knee, knocked him down, and had a spectacular bounce-back win, and one in which he needed. And as I said when we got into the intro of this fight, this was not the original booking. This was not the original main event for this card in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It was supposed to be Jailton Almeida versus Curtis Blades. And I'll say here, as a fan, as someone with intrigue in Almeida's career and the potential that he has, I'm a little sad we didn't get that fight. And I think it's no slight to Derrick Lewis, but Curtis Blades has shown time and time again that it's hard to look good against him unless you are a Francis Ngannou, of course, who's beaten him twice. Derrick Lewis had a fantastic knockout against Curtis Blades, but before that, Curtis had looked pretty sharp on the feet. So Curtis has had a weird career, a weird relationship with the fans, with the UFC, but you can't deny the difference in styles between Jailton having to fight Curtis and now having to fight Derrick Lewis. Almeida, known for his grappling, his jiu-jitsu, his takedowns, his wrestling at the heavyweight division, at these heavier weight classes, is something we don't see too much. But who do we see it from? We see it from Curtis Blades. And having those two combine with their clashing styles would have been really interesting to see how Almeida could have done. If he could have made it look easy against Blades, that would have been absolutely insane. But maybe we'll save that fight for another day. Instead, we get Derrick Lewis, the all-time leader in knockouts in UFC's history. And he's coming in with, again, just in this spot where he just keeps fighting. He does not care who it is, where it is. I mean, he's going into enemy territory here in Brazil, and he's coming to just shut the lights out of Almeida. And truthfully, that's his only chance of victory here in this fight because Almeida is so sharp, so polished. We don't even really get to see him strike all that often, but you look at his build and his length, and it's funny, they have the exact same metrics, both 6'3", both 79-inch reaches, but the physiques are so much different. Derrick, I believe, tipping the scales at 265 this morning as I'm recording. Almeida came in at 236 pounds. That's less than like what Stipe has weighed in before. And we know Stipe's on the lower end of this heavyweight division. It shows that Almeida has obviously been at light heavyweight before, could probably still venture to light heavyweight again. But I do like that he is kind of unofficially committed to this chase of heavyweight greatness, to climb these ranks to get to a title shot. And I think it is a very good decision. And this is a huge opportunity for him. It is his second main event, but this is Derrick Lewis. You go in and beat a guy that is arguably the biggest name or star in the heavyweight division outside of John Jones. That does a lot for your career here. And that is what Almeida is looking to really do next. Like, he's gotten two nice wins in a row against prominent names. Now it's time to get the name value added to your win streak, and it can start here with Derrick Lewis. Derrick's going to have to be great with his takedown defense, and if he goes down, can he do the Derrick Lewis get up? Can he just stand up with Jailton Almeida on top of him? I have a hard time seeing that happen, but if he does, it will be spectacular. So I am excited for this fight. I really am. I think it's interesting. It's just not as interesting or intriguing as the former matchup with Blades, because I just think, and the odds say the same, minus 470 for Almeida, plus 360 on the comeback for Derrick Lewis. It seems like a very tall task for Derrick. The way that the styles are in this fight, he's coming in on a couple of weeks' notice. Like, there's no signs pointing toward him being able to get this victory outside of landing that one shot. And Almeida has not even really shown or given his opponents an opportunity to land that one shot. He comes out guns a-blazing and looks to implement his game. And again, two significant strikes absorbed in 5 UFC fights. This is a realistic possibility that he exits his 6th UFC fight having not absorbed any more than 2. There's a chance here that Derrick Lewis can't get a chance to get that big shot off, because you have to think he's going to be aware of that takedown. Therefore, maybe making Derrick a little bit more gun shy, or does he try to land the beautiful uppercut on the takedown attempt like he did against Curtis Blades? That could be the opening that he wants, that he needs, dare I say, because Jailton is just going to push him to the limit, trying to expose Derrick's weaknesses, try to take advantage of those weaknesses, and show off his skills, his high level grappling skills in this heavyweight division. I'm a believer in Almeida, and a win here does go a long way to, I think, just build his name value, to get a win in his home country of Brazil, to be 6-0 in the UFC. We have a heavyweight title fight interim, albeit literally 1 week from when this fight happens in Madison Square Garden, with Tom Aspinall and Sergey Pavlovich. So this is a big time spot for Almeida to really become relevant in title discussions as we head into this next chapter of the heavyweight title picture, as we head into a new year in 2024. This is a perfect way for him to end this calendar year and really roll into the new year with tons of momentum. So we'll see if Derrick Lewis can halt it. And, maybe Derrick throws his name back into the talks all of a sudden. He's done it before. He can very well do it again. But at 38 years old, I feel like something's got to give eventually. But maybe it isn't this weekend for Derrick Lewis. Maybe he plays spoiler in the home country of his opponent. Time will tell. So let me know what your predictions are for this fight. Let me know who you think is going to win, how they're going to win. Are you betting on anybody in this fight? Are you betting a straight up minus 470? Are you taking Almeida by finish? Are you taking Derrick Lewis at the straight up dog odds, or even by knockout to spice things up a little? Let me know all your thoughts on this fight if you're excited for this fight night card in Brazil on Saturday. I hope you guys do enjoy the fights. I hope you guys enjoyed this short little preview. If you did, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Be sure to ring that bell so you never miss a preview, a recap, a fight announcement, a breakdown, and everything in between. And I will see you guys in the next one.